Hey guys, this video it will be about the fire roll, but it's going to be mostly about, I guess you could say, a little bit of back history about it, what little I know, and I guess some more fine points on it. It's rather simple, this method of friction fire is, but I just wanted to touch bases with you guys, and I get a lot of questions as far as where this came from, or where the method came from, a lot of private messages and whatnot, and I'll be honest with you, I really don't know its original origin. I think it was back in October of last year. That's when I came upon this method. Casa del Fuego, I believe, he has a website, and he introduced me to Eddie Gordo. I'm going to include those, I guess, a link to their channels in the description below. Those are the two people that brought it to my attention, but it was Casa del Fuego originally, and I did that first video over it, and I found it fascinating. It was very magical. When I looked into it, I found out that a German survival expert named Rudiger Roll, I'm going to include a link to a short video that I've included in the other descriptions and other videos with him again too. And like I said, I believe he wrote about it and said that it was a technique that he got, either he read about it or he knew about it. It was prisoners of war would use this method to light cigarettes while they were in prison or whatever, or they were in these concentration camps. I don't know, something to that effect, but that's about all I know. I'm probably sure there's more to it than that, but for this moment, I really don't know. Also, people are like, do you need to use ashes all the time? Well, no, I don't need to use ashes in every video. I just like to use the ashes in the video. When I was looking into it a little bit further, I came upon, I think it was a Russian website. I want to say that the guy goes by Gullrica, and I will include him down below as well. The name wool skating, that's where I got that from, and I believe he was calling it that. I would have to translate it to understand it because everything was written in Russian. I didn't know what was being said, so I looked as far as I could, but he did a video where he didn't use any ashes, and I thought, well, okay, I'll try it. Some of the fibers work better than others without the ash. Pretty much all of them will. Cotton doesn't really work that well without ashes. I'll be honest with you, if it'll work at all. Wool will work. I've gotten hemp to work. Some Nepalese metal fibers to work like that without it, and several other things. It's just that I prefer to use the ashes. It helps with the videos, because sometimes, it might take a little longer. It's not really that difficult to use this method, even without the ashes. It's just that I prefer using them. If you have them, make good use of them. It's just going to make it that much easier on you to get an ember using this method. Also, let's see. I think Eddie Gordo, he's done a few videos here recently without ashes in it. I think he's used hemp and metal. And yes, it'll work, like I said, without it. It just makes it easier. I was looking for other things to use, and I plan future videos with this. It's just right now I'm in the process of trying to get some personal matters out of the way with my living situation. I'm not going to go into that, but I had recently done a few videos with chaga, and it works really well. I mean, it just gives you that little bit of extra insurance, that little bit of kick, and it will actually create the ember quicker if you have the ashes or the chaga. And like I said, I have a few other things lined up, as far as the fuel to go on the inside. But there are some other things. I think I've had questions concerning moisture. It's kind of funny. When I did my first video, I didn't realize it, but I had spit on the cotton row, and then midway through that I was like, oh crap, this isn't going to work. It's just out of habit. I mean, sometimes you'll do something like that just to get something to stick together, or give yourself grip or something, and so it was just, I had no intention of doing that. It just happened, and it became part of the habit for me to do that. I tried to quit doing that, but it didn't really seem to matter. Someone had speculated that the cotton and ashes mixed with the moisture of the spit, the water, if you want to call it that. Actually, the reason it was working was it was a chemical reaction. And I'll be honest, I really don't know if that's true or not. I'll tell you what I think. I think, honestly, it's a combination of factors. I don't really know if I agree with that chemical reaction thing anymore. I'll use this pencil as a demonstration. If you can get those rolls very tight and small and thin, and the tighter you can get them, the smaller you can get them, this method will work a lot better. Also, without the ashes, if you're going to go without the ashes, with like some of the rougher fibers, hemp, nettle, the jute twine, and I'm sure there are various others. I haven't had an opportunity yet to get any yucca fibers, but I did do some with sisal, which is a species of agave. It's similar to yucca, so I'm assuming, yes, yucca probably will. If it's a strong fiber, most likely, and it's natural, it's going to work. The synthetic fibers probably wouldn't work that well. But back to what I was saying about the fire roll, you need to get those fibers thin. That way it rolls and it's tighter, it's more compact. I believe probably the biggest reason this works so well is it's the contact between the boards or the surfaces, be it rock, stone, whatever it is that you're using. There's a lot more contact than, say, like you're doing like a hand drill. When you're doing the hand drill, you've got this little point of contact with the board, and that's about it. But with the fire roll, or wool skating, whatever you want to call it, you've got a lot more contact, surface contact. You've got it on the bottom and on the top. And as it's rolling, the energy is being transferred toward the inside. So it's not only just friction with it rolling back and forwards, but I believe it to be some kind of internal combustion. So I think it's in my opinion, a combination of friction and internal combustion. The friction from the rolling creates a whole lot of heat on the inside, and it causes it to combust on the inside because the embers, when you go to tear this apart, form to the inside. Now, I could be wrong, but I do believe that. And the heat being generated so high, making it so easy. I've done embers with this method like 3 or 4 seconds. It only took me 3 or 4 seconds to do them. And sometimes it takes me 30 seconds. I guess it depends. And even that 3 or 4 second ember, I had spit on my hands and rubbed it together in moisture. You tell me, it's strange, right? I guess it'll depend. I don't know. Will this work outdoors? Absolutely, it will work outdoors. And the reason why I do it here is just because it's simple. It's easy for me to show you here. I do not have a camera to take outdoors to devote any time to this. If I did, I would have done a few videos outdoors. Yes, you can split wood down and do this outdoors, just like you can in. Wood's wood. You might have to do a little smoothing, but it can be done. Can it be done on a rock, a flat stone? Absolutely. This method isn't just exclusive to like an urban setting or something like that. I didn't want to give people that idea. Yes, it can be done in a, I guess, wilderness survival situation, meaning I'm just having fun with it. But you have to remember this, though. The fibers, when you do this, they need to be strong. I don't believe synthetic fibers will work. I haven't really tried anything synthetic. I understand that. I think the guy from Russia, Gullrica, like I said, I'm going to include a link to his channel as well. You'll get to see him do it ashless. I think he did wool ashless. I believe it was wool. He's done cotton too, I believe. I think he may have done it without ash as well. I don't know. I just prefer to use the ash. You can do it ashless. It does work. Some things may not work without the ash. I don't know. I've done it with numerous things. Like I said, I just prefer the ash. It's easier. A little bit of fuel, so to speak. Backup. But I'll include that link to his thing. Sorry if I'm a little bit whatever. I've been distracted here lately. I've had a lot going on, but I hope it's cleared up any answers. And if it hasn't, I'll do a second, talk or discussion about this if I can. Like I said, this is relatively new. I mean, I know about as much as you do, which is basically nothing about this method. It's new. I did, look into it a little bit further and came up with a bunch of different fibers you could use, but any natural strong fiber is probably going to work. Like I said, my top 2 local picks are dog bane and nettle. I think that those will work pretty much every time. it's not really about that, you know. It's whatever you have available to you, it'll work. You know, cotton, natural. You know, heck, I like to see somebody from that part of the country who has cotton plants growing around them do a video like that. That'd be interesting to watch. But for right now, that's all I have, you know, on the subject of this. The moisture, yes, you know, it seems to me like, though, I wanted to touch on this one point. The moisture, if you're using this method, it's probably easier to get an ember with this method than it would be, like, say, the hand drill. Hand drill is going to be a lot harder to do if it's wet. But, you know, those are my thoughts for now. You know, like I said, this is relatively still in its infancy. I mean, I don't know how far anybody could take it. I have quite a few videos planned for it, especially when I get a camera where I can film outdoors. And sorry, I'm always filming in my kitchen. I only got a few videos outdoors. It's just, I don't have a camera right now, and I don't really have the time to devote to that. But thanks for watching, and happy rolling, I guess. And hope to see some videos from everybody. I've met lots of nice people on here, and thanks for the encouragement. And you guys have a good weekend.